Thanks for joining us for 25 News at 5. Well, young Texans sure know how to get out the vote this year. So far, adults under 30 years old showing up to the polls is up 600% from the 2016 election. Our Hallie Jones finds out what's driving up the youth vote.
As we approach the final hours of early voting, Texas has seen a large turnout from first-time Gen Z voters, something we haven't seen in the last two presidential elections. Throughout early voting in this year's presidential election, youth voters are turning out to vote here in Texas.
It's surprising, but encouraging. We've seen Texas on the cellar floor in turnout for so long that to be able to see Texas rising and find so many people voting is just extremely encouraging.
According to the analysis by the Center of Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement, Texas is seeing the largest gain in youth voting. As of Friday, 753,600 youth voters have already cast a ballot in the 2020 election. During the same time period in 2016, only 106,000 Texans younger than 30 had voted.
That people are really focusing on the youth vote. We've seen candidates who are dedicating individual staffers and they're really directing messaging towards younger voters, and that really works.
In Brazos County, as of Friday morning, 13,000 ballots have been cast at the Memorial Student Center, one of the early voting polling locations on Texas A&M's campus.
And as you know, that's mainly used by the college students and the faculty at the college. So there has been a really high turnout out there.
For high school senior YEAGER, he's excited to vote in his first ever election and says social media has played a huge role in Generation Z's turnout.
Especially with it being such a cool thing, they'll put like the I vote sticker on and everything. You have seen tons of people do that just because it's becoming, I guess, a trend now. So I think a lot more people, that's kind of helping.
That excitement is being felt across the state and country. Political scientists also pointing to the demographic of the state as to why we're seeing more youth turnout than arguably ever before.
Texas is a young state. It's also a very ethnically and racially diverse state and a very urban state. That's the future of Texas. And if you can't get young people to vote when it's really their races to be able to determine, then it's not going to happen. And the good news is we're seeing that happen.
It is inevitable that the engagement from the younger generations will play a role in this year's election. Texas has outpaced the rest of the nation in early voting with more than 7.8 million Texans already voted in this year's election. Reporting in Bryan, Hallie Jones, 25 News.